Hey Chinko, you wanna mess with the bad guy? Razor Ramon. Shout out to Razor Ramon, man. He passed away not too long, a couple days ago. Had an operation on I think his leg, something like that, and just went wrong. I grew up on a guy back in the '90s. If you watch some of that WWE stuff, man, I used to love Razor Ramon. He had that razor's edge. So I want to just give a quick shout out to him before I get started with this video, man. But the Lakers lose to the 76ers. I didn't watch the game while I was doing my live stream, so I had to go back to it and watch the game. I had to watch the replay. So even if I get to watch some of these games a little late, I watch the replay, then I come down with my synopsis. So here's how it goes down. All right, they lose the game without LeBron James, but here's the difference. They could have lost that game with LeBron James too, because it's not like his impact on the court has been winning. All he has been doing is just getting his numbers. He has did nothing really to impact the Lakers from a winning standpoint. And one of the guys on ESPN, he actually make a little more sense, and I'm surprised I'm actually saying this because I think a lot of these journalists on ESPN are idiots. But anyway, he did say something that makes sense. He said to be a top 5 player or a top 10 player, you had to have an impact on your team winning games. And if you're on a losing team, how could you be the best player in basketball? And how could you be the best player in basketball assuming that you have guys that are considered to be top players in the league? Okay, if you have a lot of talent on your team, you shouldn't be losing games. And you're considered to be a top player in the league. He is right on that. He is 100% right on that. The Lakers were title favorites going into the season. They got nothing but future Hall of Famers. They got a solid roster. They got everything going for them. They just can't win games because they don't play proper defense. Defense is about effort. So if you're not putting forth the effort, then how could you be the greatest basketball player, especially in the league right now? I can name 5 guys off the bat that could be ranked ahead of LeBron James this season, just alone. That's the Joker. That's Embiid. That's Giannis Antetokounmpo, Devin Booker, or any other star player on the Phoenix Suns. The list goes on and on. John Morant. Not saying these guys are better than LeBron all the time, but if they're having a better season than a certain player, then they should get the credit for it. You know what I'm saying? They should get the accolade for it, for being, or the props for being called a better basketball player this season. So yeah, man, LeBron's level of play hasn't been winning. So I don't want to hear that nonsense that the Lakers, oh, look at their record without LeBron, or, blah, blah, blah. No. With LeBron, they lose. Without LeBron, they lose. They just can't figure shit out because they can't play no damn defense. Now, Westbrook gave you similar numbers. He had 24 points. For all you stat stuffers out there, 24 points, near triple-double, 8 and 9. All right? Whatever. But it didn't impact to win it. And the 76ers beat them. The funny thing is 76ers shouldn't have trouble beating the Lakers. That goes to show you right there the Lakers are still a good basketball team on an offensive end. They only lost by 5 points. Okay? So keep that in mind. At one point in the game, they were only down by 2. So the Lakers are definitely capable of winning games. So this is 100% truth that they could win games with or without LeBron James. If this team was fully healthy and LeBron James wasn't on it, and you had AD and Russell Westbrook, they'd be presumed to go to the NBA playoffs as well. Okay? They're a playoff team with or without LeBron James, assuming they all healthy. Then we're all on the court playing. Russell Westbrook would have had the ball in his hands. He's ball dominant. He'd been able to put up his regular 24 and something numbers. AD would have been able to put up his 25 and 10. This Laker team would have definitely win games without LeBron James. Okay, so that narrative, let's diffuse that narrative because they could make the playoffs without LeBron James. Okay, assuming all of these guys were healthy and playing. Even without Anthony Davis on his team, and let's just say he's hurt for a while, and you got Russell Westbrook to hold down the fort, they still should probably make the playoffs, be a lower seed, but they still should make the playoffs because if that was the case, this team would have been built and constructed a little bit differently on a role player aspect. But even with all that, they still should make the playoffs, bottom seed or not, and this is just an indictment on how this team is, man. You know, they all just gave up and waved the white flag. I am 100% convinced that the Los Angeles Lakers, no, LeBron James was just playing for stats this season. We got the proof. Everybody called them out, calling LeBron out for stat padding this season. All right. And the evidence is right there in front of your face. You mean to tell me a guy that was an all-around basketball player for so-called 19 seasons, out of one season of his whole career, he decides to just focus on scoring more? And look how he moved the narrative. Now he's talking about scoring all day, every day. Because why? Because he was on that list to surpass players on the all-time scorers list. He didn't give a damn about scoring until it was time to surpass guys on the scorers list. An empty stat, and it's a record. If, like I said, man, if we both have a job and I go to work, I'm gonna just make the example again. We both have a job. You go to work 50 days in a row without missing a day. I go to work 49 days and I miss one day. That doesn't mean you're a better worker than me because you went to work one day extra. You know what I'm saying? It's just a record, man. But it is what it is, man. Lakers take another L again. And shame on LeBron James for missing these games, because you're supposed to be there for your teammates when you guys are struggling to try to make the playoffs. But you don't care. The motto with you is, well, at least I got my stats. Press Sports out. Peace.